I don't know why nobody is talking about this, or nobody that I can find is talking about this. The Bengals have a problem at safety, and it's been ignored. Everyone's talking about the offensive line, which is also important, and I have a different video on that. Safety, we're going to fix it with a guy who just became available yesterday. No buts about it. Everyone, it is Josh here from No Buts About It, and today I want to talk about former Chicago Bears safety Eddie Jackson, and he just became available yesterday. They let him go. Looks like they're trying to clear up some cap space, maybe make a big swing in free agency, but the Bengals need to make some swings in free agency as well, and one of those positions I would like to see them go after is safety. This is a great class for needing a safety in free agency. We got Geno Stone, Micah Hyde, but now Eddie Jackson is available. And Eddie Jackson is a guy who had been great, and then he was not as great, and now he is no longer on a team. He's homeless. He's looking for a home, and I think Cincinnati should give him that home. Jackson is a veteran player. He has been in the league since 2017. That was just such a great draft year. I mean, wow. We desperately need a safety in Cincinnati. This isn't a knock on Dax Hill, but he cannot play that position anymore, in my opinion. And I am not kicking Dax Hill off the team. Let's get into how I would fit Eddie Jackson into this defense while also keeping Dax Hill. So now, of course, Jordan Battle, he is a lock at the strong safety position. He finally got to start about halfway through the season, and I think he is going to be a great replacement for Von Bell. The problem is over at the free safety position, which Jesse Bates had. Jesse Bates spoiled us with. He did phenomenal. Now he's doing great down in Atlanta. Dax Hill was brought in to be his replacement, but Dax Hill isn't a safety. Like, he's a hybrid player that mainly plays cornerback. I don't know why Bengals fans thought that they were going to go from, like, honestly, possible Hall of Fame talent safety to the guy who's basically a rookie playing out of position. They thought that it was just going to transition. That was going to be smooth. It wasn't. And again, Dax, love you. It just didn't work out. Like, that swing didn't happen. And that's fine. I didn't expect it to. A lot of people did. I didn't. I am not giving up on Dax Hill. I am just moving him to the position that he needs to play. I'm putting Eddie Jackson at free safety, which is where he's meant to be. I think a lot of his regression that happened with the Chicago Bears was they moved him from free safety over to strong safety, which isn't a position he plays. So he's been playing out of position. He had a great year in 2018 as a free safety, 2019 as a free safety, and then in 2020 they kind of put him over at strong safety, and since then it's been like, no, we're not doing that. We're putting him at free safety where he belongs. I'm putting Dax on the outside. I am letting Cheeto walk because he's older. Yes, I know he's recovering from an ACL injury. I know that's probably why he regressed last season. I don't want to make that bet. I'm putting Dax on the outside, Cam Taylor-Britt on the outside. We're keeping Mike Hilton for a year at the slot corner position, which Dax can also play if need be. And I'm keeping DJ Turner as a rotational depth piece. This, I think, would be a lot better setup, getting guys in positions that they actually are meant to play and not trying to force my scheme to work with players that we don't have. I think this works a lot better. And I really do believe that this team can be a turnover machine again. I think Eddie Jackson also fits into that bend, don't break mentality. When I was watching his highlights and his film, he would allow you to get some yards, but as soon as you got to that first yard line, he came up and he busted you. He's an aggressive player. He is speedy. He has great technique. Cam Taylor-Britt also is an aggressive player, turnover machine. And I really like what we're creating here in Cincinnati with this Eddie Jackson hypothetical. I think we'll have a ton of turnovers like we expect to see with these guys. So like I just said, Eddie Jackson is a turnover machine that I think will fit into this bend, don't break mentality at the free safety position. He is just very heads up. Something that we were very happy to see with Jordan Battle. He makes himself a part of the play. If he's not necessarily near the ball, he gets himself near the ball. There were a lot of times I saw where he wasn't the guy who was supposed to make the tackle, but he flew across the field and he was the guy who made the tackle. That's something we saw with Jordan Battle that we really liked, and I want to have that in our free safety as well. He also gets to the ball with insane speed. He broke up passes where he wasn't even the main guy covering, and he just got his arm in there to break up the pass, and he did great. This aggressive technique does sometimes result in some questionable penalties. Maybe his hand gets near a face mask or something, but in general, it does work exceptionally well for Eddie Jackson, and that's something I would love to see the Bengals have. Jackson wouldn't be the long-term solution at safety, though, because he is older for that position. I would bring in another true safety. I'm not trying to make another cornerback into a safety. I'm bringing in a true safety at the draft either this year or next year, depending on Jackson's contract, and I am bringing him in to learn from Eddie Jackson, and Eddie Jackson can also help teach Jordan Battle, teach these young guys in the defensive backs locker room different coverages and how to help really come together as a unit, because that's something we also were missing last year with this Bengals defense, in my opinion. The secondary wasn't really a unit yet. They were still meshing, and hopefully they've gotten a lot of those growing pains out of the way, and I think Eddie Jackson could really be that. So beautiful. This would make me so happy, guys. Like I would be ecstatic to read this news report. Now, Eddie Jackson would be expensive. His last contract was $14 million a year. The Falcons gave Jesse Bates $16 million a year, so he's going to be expensive. But I think he's worth it. I think the way Lou's defense works, the safeties need to be playing well, especially in that bend don't break ideology. You can't have the safeties missing the tackles. Nick Scott. I didn't. But I do think Eddie Jackson is worth every dime if we get him back in position where he's meant to play. He would be a very exciting addition to this team. I think we'd see a lot of turnovers like what we were used to with Jesse Bates. We already have our Tyler Boyd replacement on the roster in the form of either Yoshi or Charlie Jones. I think Charlie's more of a slot guy, but I know they kind of moved Jamar Chase over to the slot as well, so maybe Yoshi plays on the outside and he ends up being the Tyler Boyd replacement. I don't know how to work out. Maybe it'll be a mix of the two, but I think one of those two ends up being Tyler Boyd's replacement. Not too worried there. T will likely be back on the franchise tag, which is about $22 million. Jermaine Illuminor is likely the right tackle replacement, and I have a different video on that. He's going to be less than $3 million a year, though, I think, or somewhere around that. So that would put us at $39 million of the $61 million in cap space. And, of course, we have a month. Stuff can change in a month before the league season begins, so we'll see what happens, but that's where the chips lie right now. I know that Jamar Chase extension is out there as well, but I think that this can be done. I think Duke Tobin and Mike Brown and Blackburn need to do some salary cap gymnastics. They need to get their Livy Dune on and get this done in the terms of signing bonuses, restructures. Let's find the cap space. We can do it. I mean, let's be honest. Like, New Orleans has been like $50 million over the cap the last like 10 years, and they're getting a team put together. So we can get this done. In the end, I'm just a fan spitballing. I do think Eddie Jackson would be a phenomenal add to this defense, though, and I hope that they get something done at the safety position in free agency, whether it's Eddie Jackson or another guy. Eddie Jackson would be my favorite right now, behind like Micah Hyde, but I don't think Mike is leaving Buffalo. So Eddie Jackson it is. Eddie Jackson can be that thing that helps get this team to the Super Bowl, and he's going to look great in stripes. No buts about it.